My foundation project is due tomorrow and I haven't even started. What am I going to do? Let's see. Create a poster? No. Manage pocket money? What pocket money? Solar panel farm? Yikes. Here we go. Who is your favourite artist? Well, I do like art, but who's my favourite? Think, Ruby, think. Well, hello, everyone. I'm Wink Winkleman. And welcome to another episode of Love at First Sketch, where we match one lucky contestant with their favourite artist. And here's our contestant now. Please give a big round of applause for Ruby. And let's meet the artists. Artist number 1, all the way from the good old US of A, please welcome Andy Warhol. Artist number 2, all the way from Mexico, Frida Kahlo. And last but not least, all the way from the Netherlands, Vincent van Gogh. Remind me to ask for a stroopwafel later. Am I right? And to remind our audience of how this works, Ruby will ask each artist a series of questions, and in the end, Ruby will choose her favourite artist. Let's see if we have another Love at First Sketch. Okay, I guess first things first. Why don't you each tell me something about yourselves? Artist 1, why don't you go first? Of course, I grew up in Pittsburgh in America and first worked as an illustrator. This influenced the style of art I helped create called pop art. Heard of it? I painted things like soup tins, Coca-Cola, and vacuum cleaners. I also painted many portraits of famous people. My painting of Elvis sold for more than $100 million. I also opened my art studio called The Factory, and it was fabulous, darling. The Factory quickly became one of the New York City premier cultural hotspots, a scene of lavish parties attended by the city's wealthiest celebrities. I simply love my celebrity status, darling. Wow. Artist number 2, same question. I was born in Mexico, the daughter of a German photographer. I attended a very prestigious school, one of the only female students. I began painting self-portraits, and in 1929 I married a Mexican muralist, Diego Rivera. I continued with my self-portraits and also painted murals. I lived and worked in New York City, Mexico and Paris, and had many exhibitions and sold many paintings. Because of my activism and political views, I am known as a feminist icon. Love me some girl power. Artist number 3, please, same question. Grew up poor, post-impressionist painter. Only ever sold one painting. Destined to die poor. That good enough for ya? Ooh, oh boy. Maybe a bit more would be helpful. Okay, here it goes. I had to leave school and work some dead-end jobs, but eventually settled in Paris. I was inspired by my impressionist art. I've actually completed more than 2,100 pieces of art. Sadly, I've ever only sold one painting and had been so unlucky in love. Great. Loving the bandage, by the way. Next question. How about you each show me some of your work? I'd like to see 3 pieces from each of you that you think best represents you. Of course. This first piece is my Campbell soup painting and is the epitome of pop art. And from my portrait series, I bring you Marilyn Monroe, such an icon. And lastly, and I think you'll love this one, I bring you Banana. Next! First is a portrait of me called Self-Portrait with Thorn Necklace and Hummingbird. Next is The Two Fridas. And lastly is a self-portrait on the borderline between Mexico and the United States. I'm sensing a theme in my self-love era. I can dig it. And on to artist 3. Starry Night. Sunflowers. Self-portrait. A man of few words, but a lot of talent. Thanks, Vinny. It's Vincent. Okay then, Vincent. Gotta say, I'm still undecided as you're all obviously very talented, yet very different and unique. To help me make my decision, I've got one more question. If it's true what they say, that the most successful artist is the most tortured artist, let me see which of you is the most tortured. Artist number 1. Of course. Despite being wildly successful, supremely popular, rich, the definition of avant-garde, celebrated by the who's who of New York society. But I digress. I did suffer, you know. In 1968, I was shot in the stomach by some wannabe writer and radical feminist called Valerie something or other. That's Valerie Solanas, thank you very much. And she only shot you because you refused to use her script, even though you promised you would. Ugh, whatever. The script was not up to my standards. It took me weeks to recover, and I only survived another 22 years before I died following a gallbladder operation. I was still in my prime. Only 58! That is so sad. Artist number 2. Settle in, folks. We might be here a while. Where should I begin? I know. How about when I was 6 and contracted polio that left me bedridden for 9 months? Or the car accident I was in as a teenager, where I was impaled on a steel handrail and left with a fractured spine and pelvis. Or how about the fact that my so-called loving husband turned out to be a dirty, rotten, cheating scoundrel? Or the fact I died 1 week after my 47th birthday under somewhat mysterious circumstances. But you're right, Andy. Being a rich and famous New York socialite must have been so hard on you. I don't know how you coped. I was shot. I was shot and survived for another 20 years. Boo-hoo. I think we need to give Vincent, a turn. To summarize, I struggled with mental illness and remained poor and virtually unknown in my entire life. My love life has been nothing short of disastrous. In 1888, I was living on coffee, bread and absinthe in France. I also began eating paint. I ultimately cut off my own ear. Oh, please. It was just the lobe, not the entire ear. Drama queen. Ahem. I eventually moved to an asylum where I shot myself in the chest, similar to Andy, and succumbed to death 2 days later at the age of 37. Only after my death did my paintings attract public attention and became wildly famous. There's now a Van Gogh museum in Amsterdam. Today, my paintings sell for millions. I'm speechless. Well, you sure have your work cut out for you, Ruby. So who's it gonna be? Andy, the New York jet-setting pop artist. Frida, her tortured tale of self-love. Or Vincent, the one-hit wonder. I've made my decision. Drum roll, please. I've chosen this artist because their paintings are complex, inspiring, and imaginative, and I'm a girl's girl. So I love the feminist messaging and ability to overcome adversity. So with no further ado, Frida! Yes! Ugh. Well, I never. Come on, Mr. Pickles. We have better things to do. Well, there you have it. Another Love at First Sketch success story. Join us next week. Bye.